Hello and welcome to It's Not Your Parents' Basement, Denver Metro's only first-time homebuyer show. My name's Olivia Konovicius.
And I'm Christian Derlin. Today we're going to talk about narrowing down a home search. So as a first-time homebuyer, you've decided that you want to buy your first home, and you've started the process. You may have even contacted a real estate agent, but now all the big questions come about. And what do I want? And how do I narrow that down? So Olivia, as our resident real estate expert, is going to explain that a little bit further. So, how do I narrow down my home search?
So this is an interesting question. The first time I sit down with first-time buyers, I say, okay, well, what are you looking for? And it's an interesting question because some people think, well, I want to buy a house, but when asked specifically, you've never looked for a house before to buy, so you don't really know what it is that you're exactly looking for. So to actually help you answer this question, there's a lot of different questions that I like to ask buyers. First off, there's a bunch of different types of homes. You've got a ranch style home, and that's a one-level home. Sometimes they have basements, sometimes they don't. You've got a two-story home, you've got a bi-level, and you've got a tri-level. Now, sometimes buyers' eyes will already start to glaze over and go, well, bi-level, tri-level, like, I don't really know even what that is. So I like to call going out for the first time with a first-time buyer, it's like going on a reconnaissance mission, right? I get it that you don't really know what you like until we start going and looking at properties. You may have been in your friends' homes, your family's homes, the home you grew up in, but until you step into a ranch-style home and figure out, is this the right property for me? Do I like not having a second level? Do I like not going upstairs? You can't really tell until you're inside the house. So sometimes it's okay to not be able to actually answer that question.
Cool. Well, do you have any sort of examples? I mean, I'm thinking about the times when I've purchased a home, and yeah, I mean, I thought I had an idea of what I wanted, and then the real estate agent took me to a home that in an area that I didn't really think I'd be interested in, and it was a style of home that I thought I had kind of discarded. So, how does that work? I mean, how flexible do buyers have to be in this process?
Well, I like to work with buyers and just say, you know what, let's cast the net wide. If you're not really sure what type of home you like, let's just go look at all different styles so you can figure it out. And two, to say what are some of the important things to you? Let's say you're a single person or you're a couple. How important is the kitchen? Is somebody a chef? Is that where you do all your entertaining? You like to hang out in an open kitchen. It's very important that it opens to a living room. Do you have people over where you need an actual dining space, or you don't have a dining room table, you're okay with sitting at a breakfast bar or maybe just on the couch? Does somebody need a man cave, right? Like, is there a guy in the relationship that wants to put a big screen TV downstairs and have the guys over for football? That could be a really big, important factor too. Something else to think about, especially if you're a couple or a single person this applies to, do you want a master suite? A lot of older homes in Denver don't have a master suite. So let's say a 1950s ranch has 3 bedrooms, all the same size on the main level with 1 bathroom. Are you okay with your guests using the main bathroom that you're also using? And they see, as a female, they see all your makeup, your hair products, everything on the counter. You're going to have to clean that up when you've got company come over. So there's a lot of different things to think about. What size is your bedroom set? If you've got a full 5-piece master bedroom set and now you're buying a 1950s ranch-style home where you absolutely can't fit that, or you've got a California king, we might have to make some concessions there. So I say if you're not really sure what you want, then let's go look at everything so you can figure it out and see what feels best.
Well, and I think that's a great point. And in this competitive market, especially here in the Denver area, when it's more of a seller's market still, as a buyer, when it's a full-on buyer's market, you can take your time and you can see so many homes, and you can really sit down and kind of make that decision slowly and methodically. But in this competitive market, it's moving a lot faster, so it can be a little harder to do that. But what I'm hearing you say is, I mean, you might have to be willing, if you want the older home and you want a full-on master suite, well, those two things can conflict, so you might end up having to sacrifice something, So
it's all about concessions, right? Like, for example, a garage. Who doesn't want a garage? I don't know anybody that wants to go out and shovel their car in the wintertime, a bunch of snow falls. Nobody wants to deal with that. But Maybe you can't afford a home that has a garage. Maybe you're looking in a neighborhood, an older neighborhood where a lot of the homes didn't have garages. Maybe you can afford a one-car garage. Maybe you fall in love with a home that's been renovated, but it only has a one-car garage, and you've got to deal with, well, maybe this other person can park on the driveway, maybe they can park on the street. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
So you really do have to make concessions. Some other things to think about, yard is huge. If you have dogs, do you have a fenced-in backyard? Are your dogs jumpers where, even if it's a high fence, it's not high enough, the dogs will clear the fence? Are you into yard work? I mean, everybody likes a green yard, but that takes a lot of work. So are you the type that's going to be home on the weekends mowing the lawn? Or would you rather have, let's say, a really small yard and a really nice deck so you could entertain and you could grill? So there's tons of different things to think about, but it's okay if you don't know all the answers now. You can definitely feel that out once you start looking.
Yeah. And I think that's the big point we're trying to make here is you'd be surprised. You've been renting your whole life, I guess, and when you were growing up, you just lived in the home that your parents chose, really. So
right.
Now you're finally being able to make that decision, and you may think it's kind of a simple thing, but you'll learn really quick, wow, there's a lot to think about. So
right.
Great information, and as always, please make sure you share this knowledge, leave a comment below, check out our first-time homebuyer resources, and until next time,
always remember,
you'll never forget your first time.
Thanks.
See you next time.